I'm here at Eric the Baker's for our first segment of What's Your Dish, where we get to sample signature dishes at local eateries and restaurants here in Guelph. Let's head inside and see what Eric's going to make for us.
My name's Eric Chevalier. I'm known as Eric the Baker. I'll be making sort of my traditional cake, the family recipe, which I've tweaked to my own, which is the Gâteau Basque. This recipe goes back probably at least 5-6 generations. It started with Luisha, which is sort of my great-grandmother's sister, passed down to my grandmother. Ciencia Machicha is one of the main sort of recipients that gave us the recipe. That's where it all started. The ingredients are coarse sugar, turbinado sugar, lots of butter, eggs, egg yolks, and a little bit of flour. A touch of vanilla, a touch of salt, because you need a little bit of salt in everything just to bring out the flavor. So here we have a custard, a vanilla custard. Vanilla custard is basically you boil milk, a little bit of cream. Once it comes to a boil, you're mixing your egg yolks with a little bit of cornstarch. Traditional ways to do it with flour. I prefer with cornstarch. It's a little friendlier, as opposed to always being so heavy with gluten. It's a little lighter. It makes it very nice. So Tahitian vanilla, egg yolks, milk, a little bit of cream. You let it boil. You add your egg yolks and the cornstarch, your vanilla. Whisk, whisk, whisk away until it's cooked for about 2 minutes, and then that's pretty much the end result. This is where sort of I've made my Gâteau Basque my own. My grandmother made it with actual Pernod de Ricard, which is sort of an anisette. So she would make it with an anise flavor to it. I get this from my grandfather. He used to make the crepes with orange zest, and I candy my oranges. And I actually use candied orange zest in just on top of the pastry cream. It gives it a very nice flavor. We're going to butter the mold. Don't be shy. Butter is only flavor. And then that way it doesn't stick. It won't stick to your pan. I got a little bit of flour here. I just make a mold. And you're basically just dusting it. Make sure you get the edges. It's very important, because that's where the no stick has to really come into. Obviously the dough I made the day before, so it's nice and hard. It's pretty much like 30% butter, so you have to make it the day before. It can't be too soft. I don't want the dough too thick. You want it sort of a little thick, just to have the dough in there. So you do your cutouts. Now, this is what I mean by I'm a little bit unorthodox as a baker. Normally you would have to mold pretty much the sides, make kind of like, you know, to be able to keep the custard in. But I've had to do it like this before. When you're in a rush, is when you find out really the limits that you can push. So for me, like that is perfect, and it does a beautiful Gâteau Basque. So you add your pastry. Now people like the Gâteau Basque because it is mostly dough, but you do want to have a lot of pastry cream in there. On average, they weigh about 1 kilo. I don't really like the pompous side of chefs. Oh, I'm all this, I'm great. It's just, it should be good food, and if you can make something beautiful, then that's really the joy of it. So that's it. That was a pretty simple and fast way to make a Gâteau Basque. Sounds like the Gâteau Basque is ready. Oh yeah, look at that beauty. Finished product.
Wow, that looks delicious.
Moment of truth.
Wow, this custard looks amazing. It's like melt in your mouth texture. Delicious custard. Perfectly sweet, not overly sweet. It's delicious. If you're looking to satisfy your sweet tooth, you can stop by Eric the Baker's at 46 Carden Street. For Guelph Today, I'm Sadie Janes.